Hello again. I'm still Ben. Back to the hat for the final topic. I still didn't look at it, but I knew there was only one left. If you've been here the whole time and I was able to successfully sort of watch all these and organize these in order, thank you. Please continue to watch the streams and participate together so that we can fix this nightmare we live in. Let's see, the topic is... see, law enforcement and restructuring with community needs. There's a little scribble there, kind of hard to see on that one. So law enforcement restructuring with community needs. Now, this is what we say when we say, abolish the police. I think people were real concerned, especially some of the more conservative individuals were concerned that it's like, that means get rid of all law enforcement. Like, no. Don't panic yet, okay? What we mean is that the police is a organization that has been corrupted from the beginning and is not savable at this point. We need to literally shut it all down and reboot it under a different kind of methodology. So we're not trying to say we're anarchists and that we want to abolish all kinds of law enforcement and have no one enforce laws. Enforcement is the only reason people follow laws. That's kind of been proven throughout human history again and again. We need a level of enforcement, but what this enforcement has been so far is mostly just keeping the public down, protecting the rights of the wealthy, and, being a very Gestapo-like, general organization throughout American history. So when we say, ACAB, we do mean ACAB, except for the ones that maybe can earn their way back in the new system. And this new system needs to be centered around the needs of communities. It boggles me every time I see all of these people getting away with their incredible violent crime, and they're just because they have a badge. Like, you work for us. Hey, you guys, you work for us. Okay, I know that that's not how it sounds, and I know that that's not what you care about, and the people higher up than you are saying, no, don't pay attention to that, but we're going to start paying attention to that a lot more, I think, especially after all these recent killing events, thanks to ICE. And, although admittedly, some police have absolutely come out and started arresting ICE agents for their illegal behavior and that kind of thing, so it's not that some of you won't still have some kind of job in enforcement. It's that when we're done restructuring, when we say defund the police, it's because we need those funds for other organizations. And if the community doesn't want to spend $1 billion on policing, then there's nothing that you could possibly argue to the other to otherwise. Like, if the community's saying, hey, listen, we don't need all this, we don't want all these police, what's the argument for it then? You're supposed to be serving the community. And if the community say, hey, like 2 of you is fine, we don't need 700 of you and $500 million in, ex-military surplus gear, we'll do a handful of you guys and that'll be it. That's the community's choice. This is more oppression of democratic will. If the community says we want more people to do mental health checks who are professional, social workers who have the background and education and experience to deal with people who need special needs or are, more vulnerable, then we don't want you, the police, going to do that. And frankly, I think you're sick of that too. As members, if you are a police officer, they've got you guys constantly doing jobs that aren't your fucking job. Like, that's not what you signed up for. That's not what this was supposed to be, but the powers above you are using you to stop the rest of us from making your job better, right? Like, we could make it better. We could, chop up what these responsibilities really are. You shouldn't be doing house calls for, autistic kids or something. That is not for you. That's absolutely not within your jurisdiction. It just doesn't make sense. So this is what we say when we say that they have to be defunded and restructured, okay? Like, some of you are not going to like it because some of you are in it for the violence, okay? And that's also a part of the problem. So no apologies to you if that's what you're doing, because you're the reason we have to change how this works, because it frankly doesn't work. We need community-centered, community-driven policies and organizations so that the community can allocate those kinds of funds and that kind of future to the kind of community they want to be. It's not on you to decide that. It's not on cops to decide, what's good for the community. It's on the community to decide that. So we absolutely need to restructure, defund, and change everything we have here. I think a hard reboot would be good. Just kind of like everybody's fired. And, as we change the rules, rewrite the rules on the books, then you can come back in if you want to reapply for this job, assuming you have the appropriate credentials, like college degrees and firearms training that isn't like a week long, and other things that are actually necessary and good. My name's Ben Howerson. Thank you again. And as always, Sursum Corda.